This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. We do apologize for the late start this evening. While it is nomination day, the day that moves this country that much closer to the May 10th general election, the build-up to nomination day has been an exciting one, to say the least, here on Grand Bahama. Now, over the past few weeks, we have seen two of the major political parties hit the ground running, and today anticipation continued to mount as candidates from East to West and Abaco were officially nominated. Now, as we know, only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS, and so our team coverage begins in the north, the northern island of Abaco, with our Megan Shepard.
This is the last and final step before the big May 10th, 2017 general election. That is the official nomination day for candidates wishing to serve their constituencies for the next 5 years. Here in South and Central Abaco, 4 candidates will be throwing their names in the hat, hoping to serve this community. With me now is Administrator for South and Central Abaco, Charles Moss. So far, it's still early, but we've seen 2 candidates come in. Talk a little bit about the process that they went through this morning.
The process is quite simple, Megan. Candidates had all the necessary forms completed. So the only thing I had to do was check them out and make sure that the signatures were there, along with the supporters' documents, which were all there, and the voters card number for those persons who would have offered their support for the candidates, after which they would have paid their deposit fee. We wish them well. That's it. 2 candidates have already been nominated. That would have been Mr. Churton II from the Bahamas Constitution Party and Ms. Ruth Flowers from the DNA Party. Currently, we're awaiting the other 2 candidates, prospective candidates, Ms. Eva Bain and Mr. Aubrey. Ms. Eva Bain is for the PLP and Mr. Aubrey is for the FNL.
Now, 5 candidates were also nominated in the constituency of North Abaco. They include incumbent for the Progressive Liberal Party, Renato Curry, newcomer Darren Henfield for the Free National Movement, Claire Baston for the Democratic National Alliance, Kathleen Knowles for the Bahamas Constitutional Party, and independent candidate Kai Mills. Reporting from the island of Abaco, I'm Megan Shepard reporting for ZNS Network News.
Nomination day here on Grand Bahama got off on an exciting start. The candidates came out early to nominate. The trek to the Central Grand Bahama Nomination Center was not filled with much loud music and fanfare, but rather reflection songs of praise and prayer. As the PLP candidate for Central Grand Bahama, Julian Russell, hand in hand with his wife Jan, their pastor and spirited supporters, made their way to the foyer of St. George's High School. For this certified public accountant, he has faith that the second time around will be the charm, and he is confident that the people of Central Grand Bahama will empower him to turn that constituency around.
Right now it is victory. That's all that's going through my mind right now. And yes, it is the second time around. And I think the people know floods have changed, tides are changing. We've done a lot of work. That's not to say we don't have much more work to do, right? We're a very experienced team. Yeah, I feel good.
Nomination day was quite a contrast when it came to the Free National Movement. You heard them before you saw them, as jubilant supporters rallied around the F&M candidate for Central Grand Bahama, businessman Hiram Lewis. This former track star now finds himself in the race of his life, and come May 10th, he says, he will cross the political finish line victorious.
I'm happy to be a part of the change team. Our leader give us a clear mandate that it is the people's time, and we are here on behalf of the people. So I'm just excited to have been given the opportunity by Central Grand Bahama, by our executive, by our FM supporters all across the land bed of the Bahamas, just to be here as an agent of change on behalf of the people.
For independent candidate Donald Mortimer, nomination day was not about numbers, but mission.
I'm running. No one else running. I am. And so the people want to see me. And the same thing will apply when I win. The people will be seeing me as often as I can. So long as the House is not in session, I will be with my people and find out the needs, their daily needs, and see how best I can assist by agitating the central government for their needs.
His nomination process a bit delayed, as one of Mortimer's documents had to be notarized. For him, it was a quick turnaround, though. In minutes he returned, and with $400 and a handshake, his candidacy was made official. From Central Grand Bahama, our news team traveled to a spot to watch, Abaco City. For former school principal and award-winning basketball coach Norris Bain, his wife and supporters, the nomination process was filled with many Kodak moments. Capturing the very official hour, he said, when it comes to the Abaco City seat, he's in it to win it.
I just thank God for bringing me to this particular point in my life, and I'm very excited for the opportunity to serve the people of Abaco City. I feel very, very confident. The voters have to now go out there and make the decision on May 10th. That is a very important day in the history of our country, and I look forward to the voters of Abaco City sending me to the halls of parliament as the next representative for this particular constituency.
His opponent, F&M candidate Michael Pintard, was next up to complete the nomination process. Flanked by his wife and excited supporters, Pintard says his run for parliament is not about politics.
We believe that with God's grace, the help of those residents in Abaco City who legitimately want change, once this process is over, I'm going to hit the road and knock on doors to let persons know about our plan of action and our vision, and to point out to them that in Abaco City, we're not just talking about what we will do, we have been demonstrating that we are committed to the residents.
The final candidate to make his way to the nomination site was DNA candidate Navarre Smith. He says he's confident that come election day, the people will speak. And when it comes to Abaco City, he's declaring victory.
The glitz, the glam, pomp, and pageantry is not about the giveaways and the bribes, but it's about the substance. We are living in a time where our country and our people are crying out for change. And we all see the state of the Bahamas. I don't have to stress that. And the DNA represents hope, and it represents change.
Now with the nomination process completed here in Central Grand Bahama, the next big date on the political calendar is May 10th, the general elections. Who will win? Well, the people of the Bahamas will have to decide. We go now to Shashina Roll.
It was a day filled with dramatics, music, and anxious supporters from all of the political parties. The first to arrive was the Progressive Liberal Party's candidate and Pine Ridge team. A crew of supporters paraded through the streets of Piners Bay, many dressed in the Progressive Liberal Party colors, excited to be a part of candidate for Pine Ridge Dr. Michael Darvald's nomination day. This doctor by profession looking to make a national house call for the nation within the halls of Parliament for a second time. As he entered the building, he along with his wife was chaired and greeted by returning officer Mary Cooper. After his required documents were presented and reviewed, his team chanted in celebration of the official nomination.
It's feel beautiful. As you can see behind me, we have the bulk of Pine Ridge in support of what I'm doing and what I've been doing for the last 5 years. And the residents of Pine Ridge is convinced that I should have a second term to complete what I've started.
Darvald supporters say they are rocking with the real doc and have no doubt that he will remain the MP for Pine Ridge.
He's committed, he's involved, his fingers on the pulse of everything in Grand Bahama, and he is the man who is looking out for the people of Grand Bahama.
Up next was the Free National Movement's candidate, Reverend Frederick McAlpine, who showed up on the back of a red truck with his wife and many supporters as they chanted, "It's time for McAlpine." This man of the cloth looking to extend his ministry on a national level. The candidate was ushered into the building. Once he was given the approval by the returning officer, McAlpine's team cheered him on.
I'm extremely pleased and I'm thankful to God for allowing me to be put into the hearts of the people of Pine Ridge. They're a great bit of support, and in this election, I'm also happy that people are crossing party lines even to support me.
McAlpine supporters say it's not just the people's time, but this time it's McAlpine.
I live in Pine Ridge for the past 47 years. I passed through every candidate the F&M had in Pine Ridge, and we has done a good job through Pine Ridge.
Described as David going up against two Goliaths, the DNA was the last to arrive with a handful of supporters. This unionist, Leslie Lightbourne, not only pledged to fight for Bahamian workers, but for the advancement of all. Lightbourne, along with his wife, were cheered on by an enthusiastic group of supporters.
I was very excited. It's my first time running in a general election. The feeling is unimaginable. It just gives you goosebumps. I'm excited about a new change that's going to come, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
I've known Mr. Lightman for many, many years. I've known him to be a trustworthy, honest man, a man of integrity and character.
Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
Stay tuned. Our nomination day coverage continues from East End to West End.